Hello and welcome to Two Car Pros. Today I'm going to show you how to move your vehicle if you don't have the key or if your shifter inside the cab isn't working. So this is a situation that happened to me recently where I had to move a vehicle without the key. The key had been lost and I thought it'd make a really neat video. This is something that's really easy, but before we get started, make sure you are on level ground when you're doing this, because as soon as you move the vehicle out of park, it does have a tendency to go on its own if you're on an incline, or if you have to be on an incline, maybe chalk the wheels or have somebody in the cab holding it with the brakes, and make sure your parking brake is also set. Now this is just for automatic transmissions. It's really easy with a manual car. You just put it in neutral and you're all good to go with the parking brake off. So this is more automatic. The first vehicle I have to show is an '08 Dodge Caravan and then I believe 2011 Crown Victoria. So there's two different ways. I want to show that off today. Other than that, there's really not much to it. You only really need a pair of needle nose pliers and maybe a wrench. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's what we're working on today. It's an '08 Dodge Caravan. Many cars are set up this way with the transverse mounted V6. That's the engine on the left, and the transmission here on the right, kind of obscured by the battery. Don't mind this, this is just my studio light. Now down in here is where we will be working today. Okay, so what you're looking at now is the shift linkage, which is right here. That's the shift linkage going on to the gear selector coming out of the transmission. Now, it's in park, which is important, obviously, and that's why it won't move. So what we need to do is grab some needle nose pliers, get this under this fitting here, and pry it off just like that. So now we can remove the shift linkage off of the shift armature arm here and move it to any position. Now make sure when you're doing this, the parking brake is still on, because the only thing holding it in place will be the parking brake. So as soon as you move it anywhere that's not the park position, like right now, it would be in reverse. It's not in reverse, it's actually neutral. Every gear that is not park on an automatic transmission when the transmission is off is neutral. So now the van can move freely when the parking brake is not set. So now we can move the vehicle freely and very easily. Now we need to put that shift linkage back together so it doesn't roll away on us. Okay, so now you've moved your vehicle to where you want it to be without using the key or the shifter inside the car. Now we need to put the shifter back into park. So the furthest this direction is park. So, and you can even try to nudge the car. It's definitely in park, it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. This part's really easy to reattach the shift linkage. You just push it down and now it's on. This is also something really good to check if you're moving the gear shifter around in the cab and it's not actually getting into gear or anything. This is a good thing to check. Now the next thing I want to talk about is when your gear shift linkage looks a little different. Like here is a Crown Victoria. This is a very typical front engine rear drive American sedan kind of situation, and you can see that if you remove this large nut here, you can move the shift linkage individually, independently from the shifter inside the car, and that's another way to do it. So I wanted to show the two different ways that I've seen that are really easy. Just the second one here, you're going to have to get underneath the car. It's a little more of a pain in the neck. The first one on the van was much easier, so I wanted to show both because both are important. And that is how you move a vehicle or put a transmission into neutral without having the key or even having access to the inside, as long as you can get the hood up or get underneath it, depending on the situation. So this is going to require a little bit of detective work on your part for the exact vehicle you want to move. You're just going to have to look for the shift arm on your automatic transmission. So if you need help finding that, you can head on over to twocarpros.com and ask a question for absolutely free. An expert will be along very shortly to answer that. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, the information is down below in the description. And if you could subscribe and ring that notification bell, because subscriptions mean nothing anymore, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.